Well, good afternoon to all of you. Hope your weekend's going great. It's Saturday. It's a great day. Nice, pretty day out. It's going to rain later. It's a good thing I got something to cover up my new toy. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. This is a review and first impressions for the Nexgrill Oakford 1400 vertical smoker. I'm very, very lucky. My wife got it for me for an early birthday present, and I'm really happy to get this model. I've been doing a lot of studying with pellet grills and everything, so without further ado, instead of me yapping my gums, let's go ahead and get right into the specs and review. Okay, folks, here's the smoker. It's the Oakford 1400 by Nexgrill. I really was impressed with this model when I saw it at Home Depot. Did some research for it, and it seems like it has a lot of cool features. Price point is like just below $500, and it seems to have a lot of good features that a lot of other pellet grills or pellet smokers don't have at that price point. So that's a plus when it comes to Nexgrill. But let's take a look at some of those features. Okay, here we are on the back of the grill. Back of the smoker. Let's open that up. Whoops, let's open that up. Sorry about that. This is one of the features is, I already got some pellets in there to do the initial burn off. This thing has a whopping 80-pound capacity hopper. I mean, it is huge, folks. Let's back up and look at that. Huge, gigantic hopper. It says it could do a 40-hour low and slow cook. That's insane. It's just amazing that it could cook that long. Here's the back. Another feature is it does have a pellet release door. That's very important. You don't want to be storing your pellets inside your pellet smoker. The heat, humidity will just ruin it. Yeah, let me tighten that up. Just the heat and humidity from the area can cause your pellets to swell, and then they could jam up, and then get hard, and they could jam up your auger. You don't want that. That leads to nothing but pain and nastiness. So, okay, well, that's two of the first features. Another feature, it has 4 caster wheels. They're really great. They lock in place. I got all 4 of mine locked right now, but when they're unlocked, this thing easily moves around on a patio. And you can just move, you can position it where you want it to do your smokes and everything. You could then put it back to store it, and that's just fantastic. So yeah, that's another bonus on this model. Let's move on to the next. Before we go on, here's your adjustable chimney with the cap. Yeah, just raise it up a little bit, let the smoke out freely. Doesn't have to be raised up too much. That's fantastic. Here is the control panel. Now this control panel, instead of being on the side or on the bottom like some models, it's like right here up front. And here, let's turn it on. Really wonderfully lit display. I mean, just excellent. I mean, I had earlier, this thing was in direct sunlight, and I could still read the temp. So it was fantastic. Here's the knob to select temperature. It's high, 395, so it goes up to about 400 degrees. And then it goes, set the temperature everywhere, anywhere you want. We'll just go ahead and just move on from that. Okay, Say that's your power button. This button here is mode button. You can go, that is smoke mode, 225 for a nice low and slow smoke. Press it again, that puts it into warm mode. So you can either, so that way you can warm your food, and that way you can just do a smoke, and you can still adjust the temperature down if you want to do a lower level smoke, like say you want to do a 180 to get a good long smoke. That's great. Then you always, if you want to set the temp, do that. Give it a press. Here's your displays. Shows current temp inside the chamber. Here's your pause. It shows that it's set for smoke mode, and this shows that it's connected to the Wi-Fi. That's another thing real quick. This model here has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity. Now, a lot of smokers at this price point of that it is, which is, you know, like I say, like right below 500, they don't have that. I've seen a lot of the models that if you want Wi-Fi connectivity and Bluetooth, you're shelling out easily 600, 700, 800 bucks. But for this, for Nexgrill, they have Nexfi connectivity, so that's cool. All right. Of course, you have the right here temperature change. You know, if you want to go by Celsius, if you're European or Fahrenheit, like you have that. That's what that button for is. This is the start button. I'm not going to touch it right now, but that's the start button, and it's also a pause button. You start this to start the process, the cook process, and you can, if you need to pause the cook process, you push this button again, it'll send it into pause mode, and that is, it'll stop feeding pellets through the hopper into the fire pot, and that way, you know, it won't cause a temperature fluctuation. Like say if you have to open up the door to spray the meat or whatever, or to check on stuff, you know, or to insert the temp probes. That's what that button's for. One thing you got to remember when it comes to this, if you're going to use the pause feature, and I found this out by reading, make sure you read those instructions. That right there, if you do pause, be sure to unpause, because if you don't, after so many minutes, it's going to go into shutdown mode, and you don't want that. Do not want this going into shutdown mode, because then it's just going to shut off. Then it's going to ruin your whole cook. So don't do that. Okay, this button here is the probe button. If you have the temp probes, it has slots. It has connections for 1, 2, 3, 4 probes, 4 temp probes. I think that's great. You know, a lot of grills at this price point, they only have 2. Only 2 temp probes. This has 4. So that's great. And that's the button to select to see, check the temp on each. Timer, if you want to cook by time, we have that right there. Make sure you can set your time for your cook if you wish to cook by time. But, you know, in smoking, you never cook by time. You cook by temp, of course. Cook by temp. All right. Now, this button here is the feed button. You press this, what it does is it'll activate the auger for about 30 seconds and start feeding pellets into the fire pot. You do that before you start a cook. That way there's already pellets in there, so they'll ignite quicker, and you'll get the temp. You'll get the temp quicker. Now I'm going to open it up. I'm going to take a look inside. Okay, folks, this is part of the internal chamber here. We have in this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grill racks. They are on these casters here. They're adjustable. That way, if you have different level of cooks, different size cooks, pardon me, you can fit like several different kinds of meats in here. You can remove them, remove the casters. That way, if you need room for, say, a turkey or some chickens. You can be able to get more space that way. And from what I've read, this thing will hold 72 burgers. That's insane that it would hold that many hamburgers. And I'm not going to be cooking up 72 burgers for everybody, but I'm not going to have that big of a cookout. If I ever try, stop me, please. Okay, but here we go. This is all the casters and everything. Oh, well, I'm sorry, this is the casters, grills, and really nice size cook chamber. Can get a lot of food in here. I can't wait to get a couple of racks of ribs. Eventually do a brisket. Eventually. I'm scared of doing a brisket. Oh God, I'm so scared. Well, never mind. But yeah, that's that feature. Let's see. Go ahead, measure it. That's about 20 inches wide. $15 inches long. And a little over 24 feet diagonally. So you got some space. You got a lot of space to cook in here. Now I'm going to go ahead and shut the camera off so I'm going to take these grates out and we'll look at 2 other things in here. And then we're going to go over some things that I think are the cons, or well, actually kind of more like gripes, not cons, you know, just things I think are a little bit negative. But I'll go ahead and let's get on to the next part. So see you then. All right, we're back, folks. Okay, now excuse a little bit of a jerky cam here, but we're gonna go on to the next thing. Here's your water pan. You know, put the hot water in there. Keep your chamber nice and moist while you're doing your smoke. That's important. Keep your keep the meat you're smoking hydrated so it won't dry out on you. So that's that. It is removable. This here is the pellet, the fire pot cover. It slides on there and helps keep the ash in the fire pot, and it will go up and fill the chamber. And you know, this is removable also. That way you can do cleaning and maintenance. I gotta do, speaking of which, before I start, I'm gonna have to get a wet rag and make sure I do a wipe down in here because there's a little bit of stuff, gunk left in there. We'll take care of that though. And here, right here, is the hole for the grease trap. You know, if your water pan's supposed to help catch the drippings and everything, but if they get by, they'll the drippings will supposed to go down, and this is slanted where it'll come down and they'll come in here, and right below it, right here, is the grease catch. Now I will say, I'm going to say something. American Smoke, my barbecue hero here on YouTube. Hi Smoke, hope you're doing okay. I can't wait to see your next cook. Ooh. But he suggests, and I agree, before you even use this, cover it with foil. That way it'll make the cleanup easier. But there, slides in, catches the grease. Important. Okay, right here is the fire pot, of course. You see the heating element in there, and right above it is the hole from the auger. The pellets will drop in, catch on that heating element, and they'll start igniting and help produce the smoke. All right. But okay, so that's the inside of the chamber. I'm gonna remove this, wipe that down, and then we'll be back for, like I say, not necessarily cons, just maybe just gripes on my part. And then we'll go on to first ignition and the burn off. Okay, we're back, everyone. I wiped that chamber, the bottom of that chamber down. Shouldn't be no problems. I'm about ready to start this thing up for the burn off, and which helps get rid of the factory oils, any extra debris that might be in there, and also seasons the grill, so you can't skip the burn off. Now, as I was saying, I'm going to go over just a couple of things that are cons or maybe just gripes on my part. And one of them is, although this hopper holds 80 pounds of pellets, that's crazy. A lot of vertical smokers, they hold maybe 40 or 60 pounds of pellets. This holds 80. That's incredible. I'm not going to ever use 80 pounds of pellets. I just don't see myself ever using it. And I was just wondering if, you know, the pellet chamber is huge pellet chamber. I'm just wondering if you just shorten that up, you know, just made it a little bit smaller, and then made this like a 60 or 40 pounds, you've gotten a little bit more room in that cook chamber. You know, just a little bit more room for longer cuts of meat. But other than that, you know, that's just, like I say, take that, you know, maybe not a con, maybe just a gripe on my part. Okay, before I move on, I will say one other thing about the pellet hopper that is a pro. Their pellet hopper has a window where you can see, keep an eye on your pellets. So that's a pro right there. Okay, we're gonna go on to, okay, here we are. My next con slash gripe. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 meat probes. Comes with 2. It only comes with 2 meat probes. That's, I don't know, to me, if you're going to provide the slots, go ahead and give all 4. Come on, Nexgrill. You know, and they're not that expensive. Come on, to make or ship in with this box. You know, you got 4 meat probe slots. Go ahead and just give us 4 meat probes in the box instead of us having to go aftermarket or order more meat probes from you. I found 2 more meat probes on Amazon. Links will be in the description to which ones I got. They work. I was able to click them in and they did read. If you get meat probes that do not work when you click them in, it'll say error. So great, those work. That's great. That's like I say, that's my other con. My last con, and it's a big one. This is a fantastic smoker, I think. I can't wait to try it out, see how it works. But here is a big con. They released this Oxford 1400 with no cover. None. They have one coming later in May. So what are you going to do in the meantime? You could probably throw a tarp over it, and if you're lucky and you have a garage, you can store it in a garage. Me, I'm in my backyard. You know, hey, Bo's backyard barbecuing, so I don't have a garage, so I don't have a cover. Well, I have a cover. Well, okay, sorry for the jumble there. I was able to find a cover that fits this model. It's a little snug, but it fits it perfect. Just the right size. I found it on Amazon. Once again, links will be in the description. But okay, that's that. Now we're going to go ahead and do the burn off, and I'll see you then. Okay, we're going to hit the auger primer. You hear it, hear that auger turning. It'll run for like 30 seconds. You just see it. Yep. Keep pressing it until you start hearing pellets drop. Okay, I've hit the auger, I've hit the prime button, and you see the pellets. See the pellets coming in. And there they go. Go one more time. Yeah, there we go. Yep. Do this until you get some pellets in there. And we're going to go ahead and turn it on. Okay, we got it set. We set it for 300 degrees to start up the smoker. You hear the fan going, pellets dropping in there. I'm about to go ahead and load everything back up in here. And then when it starts producing smoke, you go ahead and close the door. We're going to run it for 30 minutes. See you then. Okay folks, starting to produce the smoke. Now I'm going to close the door up. And here's the door latch. Let me go ahead and, there's the door latch right there. So we're going to go ahead and close that. There we go. Doesn't look like there's any kind of door leakage to smoke, which is great. Back up a little bit. Smoke coming out of the smokestack. Perfect. Now we're gonna go ahead, let this run, let it get up to 300 degrees. It's already starting to go up. It's already starting to go up. So when this hits 300, we're gonna let it go for 30 minutes to do the seasoning, and then we'll shut it. We'll go into shutdown. So I'll see you then. Hey folks, just real quick, got it going. It shot up to 325 degrees, so it didn't go over temp, but it's starting to go back down. So it seems like that's normal. It's going to jump up above the desired temperature, then it's going to slowly go back down. Yeah, when it hits back down to 300, we'll let it go for a half hour. Make sure this is nice and seasoned. So yeah, at first, hey, I was worried when that thing shot up to, I was like, is it going to stop? And then hit 325, then it started pedaling down. So hey, I guess that's just a normal cycle. It just goes up, and then it will slowly go down to go to the desired temperature. So if you're setting this thing for a slow cook, if it goes over, don't freak out. It's just going to start going back down. So far so good. It's really going down quick too. So yeah, it's about 305, starting to go down. So I'm gonna go ahead, when this hits 300, I'm gonna set a timer on my phone, and then we'll let it season. Then we'll start the shutdown process. So see you then. And it's like, yeah, great, 301. Oh, cool. We're gonna hit 300. Do I hear 300? I hear 301. Do I hear 300? 300. All right, I'll see you guys then. Okay, I have noticed one thing, and it's having some pretty wild temperature fluctuations. It's gonna have, just being honest here. It went down, I went up to 225. Then it went down to 283. Now it's back up to 313, and it's starting to go down. From what I understand, this is normal. It's just like the system's updating and everything. So we're gonna see, just let it do its thing, and then we're gonna see how this turns out. Like I say, just be prepared for it. I read on a review online that it did this. It started going up, down, but then you just have to give it time, and it'll hit the right sweet spot. So I got the timer going. It's seasoning. It's doing its thing. Let's let it just keep going. All right, folks. Still doing the seasoning. It fluctuated a little bit more, but now for the last few minutes, it's been running a steady 305. That's great. It's caught up and everything. Temp's running good. It is worrying when you see that thing fluctuating like that, but just give it time to settle. And now it's running smooth and great. So let's let the season process continue. And then we'll go into shutdown. But now we're going to put it in shutdown. And power button. Now it's going into shutdown mode. So now you just have to give it time to start shutting down. And that's it, yeah. I'm going to say I am really impressed so far with this grill. Smoker, sorry, it's not a grill at all, it's a smoker. You can't sear anything in there. Sorry. I'm impressed with the smoker. I'm looking forward to using this thing for pork steaks, pork butts, pork shoulder, ribs of all kinds, and one day a brisket. One day. Fingers crossed. I want to do a brisket. Maybe for my birthday. Maybe if I beg my wife for me to get a brisket, she'll let me do a brisket for my birthday. We'll see. But anyway, there we go. My first impressions is this is a nice model. It has a lot of pluses. The minuses, like, are minor, just, you know, gripes. And before I forget, I learned this from American Smoke. Once again, I'll have a link in the description to his channel. Go check out his channel, folks. He is awesome. Great guy, funny, knows his stuff about barbecue and smokers and pellet grills. The water pan. That's a little itty bitty water pan. For a long cook, get yourself an aluminum foil pan, slip up in there above it, fill that with water, fill the other one with water. You'll be fine. Your water pan in there, cover it with foil just like with your grease pot. Cover both of those with foil, make cleaning easier. I learned that from American Smoke. Like I say, go check out his channel. Guy is great. And check out his Facebook group too. So anyway, I'm going to let this shut down, cool down, then I'm going to empty out the pellets, and then I'll clean it out and everything, cover it up once it's done and cool down. But anyway, so far my impressions, I'll say easily 4 stars out of 5. Fluctuations and everything are troubling, but once it settles, it's fine. So I'll give this a good solid 4 stars out of 5. Worth it, worth the price. If you're thinking about getting it, I think you should go ahead and hey, my opinion, you know, spend your money how you wish, but I think this is a good deal. Like I say, it comes with Wi-Fi connectivity and Bluetooth, where a lot of other models won't. Good size, nice size hopper, a lot of features, 4 meat probes, plenty of space. I think it's a good deal. But anyway, you guys have a good night. Next week, I'm going to do a pork shoulder in there. We're going to see how that works. I'm going to do a no wrap method pork shoulder, and that'll be my first cook in this grill. So you guys have, I keep calling it a grill, smoker. It'd be my first cook in that smoker. So anyway, as I was saying, you guys have a good weekend, and I'll see you around the grill and now the smoker. You have a good night, and please like and subscribe and help my channel grow. I appreciate it. So thank you and good night.